All right, everyone. We are back with the next episode of the Raiders Rambles. I am Joel, your chief host of the show, and joining me, as always, is my co-host Noble.
Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Good afternoon, good
It
evening,
is
good
that
morning.
time. It is that time, indeed. And joining me today are, oh my goodness, there's a pair of fuzzies, and what the heck are they? So,
Yeah,
all right. So, to formally introduce these, we have Azzy and Cam.
how's it going?
Hi.
Yeah, yeah, this is my mate right here. Yeah, we're
Wonderful, wonderful. And
we're just
looking sharp in the suits as well.
yeah, yeah. I hope everyone's doing great today watching this, and you know,
Absolutely, 100%. So, as this is your first time around here with Cam, I guess do share a bit about how you stumbled your way around here, and how you stumbled upon furry. Start with.
Kim.
Um, kind of like watching all of those like cringy, um, YouTube videos of bewares and stuff about the Raiders and stuff, and wanting to figure out for myself if any of that was true, and it is completely not. And I decided to join, and that's how I met Essie.
Small world,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. Especially when you literally live like in my
Yeah.
base in my city, which is like very what a small world,
Right.
right?
Exactly. That's how I got like some of my best friends, and I'm like, no way. You're just this close to me, and owe it all
Exactly.
to the fur raiders, and I just that's why I'm here. But yeah, no, really though. It's almost as if our reputation just kind of precedes itself. Oh, Raiders bad, Raiders this, and that.
Yeah, right. It's good.
Mm.
Give a damn what the haters think. It's a fucking awesome podcast and group and whatnot.
Yeah.
Right. So once again, sweet, sweet suits, and I love it though. That one's a skull.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
definitely, definitely very sweet.
All right. So let's get started on the first items of this week's adventure. Okay. Now, in first news like these, we've got something from the Xbox gaming world. Phil Spencer makes interesting admission about Xbox games going forward. You know exactly what games are multi-platform going forward. It's interesting. Of all this time, like
Huh.
how many like 2 years back we've had, or even like 30 years back, we've always had something called the console wars. Now
Mhm.
it's
Yeah.
not going to be a thing. Yeah. So let's just set the scene for you. Like in the past couple, especially in the past couple of years, Xbox is went from buying up all these developers. They went off, they bought Bethesda, they got Doom, they got Obsidian, and all of that, and now they're not getting the hardware and software sales they're hoping, and and now they're shifting to a multi-platform approach. So specifically, you know what? Like you've noticed, like if you ever go and look trailers from the Xbox YouTube account or whatever on their end, or when Xbox hosts like a conference at a game show, you notice that the Sony and Nintendo logos are conspicuously missing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be the case again.
It
So,
kind of,
yeah,
sorry, it fascinates me how Xbox has just basically gone, yeah, we're going to go poof now. We're going to turn into Sega, hopefully.
Funny how do you say that, really, though? Like, because Sega was in the same boat as that, like, some decades ago. Like, they had their own console thingy, the Dreamcast, and then they decided, no, let's make games for everyone instead. Let's put games on PlayStation, put games on GameCube, and put games on Xbox, and and PC. And I guess it kind of worked out pretty well for them. So pretty much the Dreamcast pretty much just went back into the bin of history. And yeah, they had I don't know. So like it's gonna be interesting how this is gonna play out for Xbox, isn't it?
Definitely.
Right,
Yeah.
like because if this is like the direction that Xbox is heading into, like will we see in the next like I don't know 2-3 years the next Xbox series, or are we going to or they just want to bow out of and be like all Microsoft Game Studios now also making games for PlayStation and Nintendo and PC.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think?
Well,
I'm not really sure what to make about all of that.
oh, I'm guessing it like. I mean, I guess I'm kind of in a mix of mixed feelings about it. Like, I think they should have left Xbox alone at first, but at the same time, when they want to update it to this kind, then you know, I guess that's one step of updating
Yeah.
like a game like console platform and all that.
Right,
So,
right. So let's have a look and let's see what they what Phil Spencer had to say. He says, "I think it's just being honest and transparent about where the games are showing." And we actually even had this discussion last year for the June showcase. By the time we kind of made that decision, couldn't get all the assets and it felt weird to have some of them in and some of them out. But I just want to be transparent with people. For shipping on Nintendo Switch, we're going to put that. For shipping on PlayStation, on Steam, people should know the storefronts where they can get our games. So, I mean, look, it's fair, right? Like if you make a game that's owned by a Microsoft studio, like Doom, like Doom: The Dark Ages and all that, and people are going to expect, where can I get this game? And just because Doom Bethesda is now owned by Xbox, yeah. So it's just
but
yeah. And I think you know what, and I think if this is a strategy they're going to be focusing on purely on games, does this mean like can we place our bets here? Like, does this mean we'll see Xbox's most beloved titles and stuff like Halo finally appear on Nintendo and PlayStation?
yeah,
Look, with the way games have been going I think this last generation they've had out, you've seen a lot more cross-platform gaming.
Yeah.
And for at least, I think the last 2 or 3 generations, the gaming community's more been about, why do you need to have a PlayStation and Xbox? Why not just have like one console that does everything?
Right. And that's exactly the thing that we're going to get to next in this little tidbit. Why not just have one console, one library where you can access all the games you actually ever need. So now, it's not. So now, Phil Spencer says he's done trying to convince PS5 and Switch players to move over. Like, so there's no more like, come to Xbox, come and get your Halo, come do all that. And yeah.
Microsoft's probably trying to pivot more towards streaming games versus actually having a console.
Yeah.
So they'll probably release like an Xbox little brick thing that you plug into your television, and that's it. just a streaming box.
Right.
Yeah, kind of like that. And now, it's a bit like PlayStation now, where you can stream past PlayStation games from from the PlayStation library, and what have you. And you know what? And that's just really right though. Like Phil is saying, there's people, whether it is their libraries on PlayStation or Nintendo, whether they like the control better, they just like the games that are there. And I don't want to then look at that and say, well, there's no way we should be able to build a business there, find fans of our franchises there. I'm not trying to move them all over to Xbox anymore. People were all so invested in where our games are. Let's just allow more people to play. So, yeah, definitely.
See, that's the point that they're trying to get. By having different gaming platforms, they're limiting their ability to earn money. It's the same with streaming services right now for video, TV shows and movies.
Right.
It's divided, and they're not making as much money as they would be if they had it more in an open platform. So this is going to be interesting to see whether or not you have an actual Xbox app on the PlayStation consoles now moving forward. And whether or not Sony is going to be like the de facto gaming console and Nintendo is going to be like the side thing. And then you're going to have Steam basically rolling over everybody.
Right. It's like they're all kind of integrating themselves as well, like to the point, you've seen PlayStation games on Steam, and you've seen all that exclusive PlayStation exclusive games on Steam, show up. They were, and now they're showing up on Steam. And you're right. Maybe we will see, Xbox games on PlayStation or Nintendo, or even, God forbid, Xbox Game Pass, but for PlayStation and for Switch. Like, come on, everybody always knows Xbox Game Pass is a fantastic deal in and of itself.
Exactly.
Exactly. Like just the value that you get out of it is crazy. And yeah.
It's insane.
And finally, top it all off, though, Phil Spencer, he had this interview not so long ago, and the next thing he said is that, Xbox titles will no longer be exclusive to the Xbox platform, quote emphasis his, because it doesn't really benefit people to gatekeep games. Microsoft will continue to support the Xbox console because emphasis his, obviously we make more on our own platform. Xbox Plus subscription model will keep supporting shorter games from smaller dev teams because not every story is going to be 100 hours long. So really, like, what do you think now? We can find, kind of a bit of a foregone conclusion. Now we can play, Xbox games on PlayStation and stuff. And you're right, like Noble was saying, exclusivity probably isn't the best way forward, especially if what you care about is maximizing your reach and getting a higher bottom line.
Right.
Be able to play exclusive games on just one platform and not having to buy a whole other console just to play that one
Right.
game. Yeah.
Exactly. It's a question of value proposition as well. Like, I mean, sure, like let's say you have a PlayStation. Do you want to buy an Xbox just for Halo? Probably not, right? Maybe not, unless you're already like, a long-time Halo fan, whatever.
Right.
So
yeah, I'd go for that.
Yeah, 100%. It's all about expanding the reach and all that. Whereas, it's the same story too, but unfortunately, with other stuff like, streaming platforms where, you got all these TV shows that are on, exclusive to Netflix, exclusive to Hulu, exclusive to, Amazon Prime, Paramount, whatever, you name it. But, that aside, I think, gaming is basically at the point where it's just, where I think it's just, entering the phase of consolidation.
What's going to be interesting for me is whether or not Sony will allow PlayStation to make controllers.
Right. Like, I
No,
mean,
seriously. Could you imagine if by default Sony allowed allowed Xbox controllers to connect to you a PlayStation console?
Well, wow, yeah. Some people would say that's heresy. Right.
Heresy, go to jail.
Right, exactly. So compatibilities and all that.
Or
But then again, like we said, people play because there's a control. This is the controller they seem to like. It's the controller that they're so accustomed to, and all of that. So, yeah. But honestly, I mean, I completely see, and agree with all the points that we've got here. And you know what? Maybe we will still see a new Xbox console in the future. Just probably like a stream top box, or like, yeah, we'll see. But we're not at that point yet. We'll just give it a couple more years because the console cycle seems to have been stretched out more.
Mm-hmm.
right.
Hmm. Yeah. But I guess in the end, you know what? No, I think me personally, I'm not super duper fussed about this because I don't have any consoles on my premises, and everything I need is pretty much on my PC. So again, yeah, good on them for doing this, but still can't exactly justify the purchase of any console that's probably not a Nintendo Switch. But that's just me.
The thing I like about the Nintendo Switch, and this is where a lot of people are probably going to throw up in arms, you don't have to have the internet to use it.
Oh my god.
Can't believe it. I can't believe that is such a novel concept in this time.
I know, it's psychotic. It's like a car that you don't have to plug in and wait 6 hours for the charge.
Exactly right.
Yeah. You get a cartridge and you can just plug it into the system and you don't gotta wait freaking 12 hours for the game to download. It's
Yeah.
just right there.
For the longest for
Exactly.
me, it's been like 15 hours. Like for me, like it took 15 hours for a damn game to download. Like Red Dead Redemption, like it took 15 hours for that game to download. Like what?
I mean, I mean, all things considered, yes, I know it's all subject to the speed your internet has and all that. And what happened to all, get the physical media and just play it right out of the disc or some cartridge or whatever. Right?
Right.
Sheesh. Sheesh. I know it's shocking. Then again, I think it's all like everything is gonna be like you need internet, you need power for everything, and it's why? Just keep things simpler. Anyway,
Right.
you have a
Like DVD players don't need no internet, so
exactly. Blu-ray players don't need no internet.
My
And all that.
VCRs don't need the fucking internet to work.
Exactly.
Oh god.
And even
No,
old consoles, Nintendo 64, PlayStation 1.
Well, PlayStation 1 technically needs the internet every now and then. No, sorry. I was thinking the Xbox One. Blah.
Yeah, no, like any Xbox after the free, Xbox did need the internet if you were playing, some degree of online multiplayer, but that's really it.
Yeah,
I
but that's
remember-
playing with people around the world. Of course, you're going to need the bloody internet.
Yeah.
I remember the Nintendo DS never required internet.
No, it did. Like you had Wi-Fi, that's how you did Pokemon trading and stuff. If there's an Nintendo you don't need the internet, and that's the last one, it'd be the GameCube.
Well, technically the Wii, because you can just slap a game into that and it'll play.
Yeah.
You can't update it, but that's about it.
Yeah, and I think the Wii storefront is pretty much, has.
Oh, that's dead. That's dead and gone now. Even the Wii U one.
Oh well, it is what it is. But Yeah, I mean, I guess that's why people are investing in retro consoles, which is great. Great. Anyway, a couple other things though. Weird, odd, things here and there. Boombox Live comment. I want Elon to make the X console.
I'm pretty sure Google tried doing that shit and it failed.
Yeah.
It's basically just a glorified thing, and the first thing you'll probably see on your feed is your Twitter site, is your Twitter, and what everybody's tweeting about. Bet on it.
Oh, what was that one gaming platform? I can't remember. It was something like online.
Huh.
I can't remember what it was, but I think that ended up crashing, burning too.
Uh,
I can't remember the name of it.
An old console that crashed and burned, or just
It was like some kind of like online streaming thing where you could like play games and stuff.
yeah, Google Stadia, wasn't it?
That's the
Yeah,
one.
Stadia.
man, why haven't I heard of that?
Because it crashed and burned.
Yeah,
Like,
we heard of it, and then we
like
heard
very
of it, did a
quickly.
couple of episodes on it, how absurd it really was, and bam, it failed hard.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
See,
So, yeah.
Nintendo has their head out of their ass because they've produced a console that can still play games without the internet. And unfortunately, as slapping this around again, it's a novel concept that unfortunately seems to make Nintendo a bit of money. But they also produce childish type games, and there's the whole Pokemon fiasco where they just released complete shit.
But you can't win them all. You've got to take the good with the bad, unfortunately, as with all
Ooh,
things.
Boombox.
They didn't hardly have any third-party games.
And then there's the Laserdisc comment.
Mm-hmm. The Laserdisc doesn't need internet.
Huh.
Yeah.
Dinner plate sized media.
Mm-hmm.
So please, is there anything else they're trying to spout out about how we fucked up, we're buggered, we're giving up, here's the towel?
No, Xbox doesn't seem to do anything of that sort. Google Stadia, probably. I mean, they did, but that's probably, since it's such a bygone thing, I think we've all just kind of forgotten about it. Right in the dustbin of history. Oh well. Xbox will be fine, but still. It's just what it is. Now, we've got another item on the show to move forward with. And for those people who are of the right era, the right generation, which I am not of, because I was born a few years too late for this, here's a revival of an old classic, Samurai Pizza Cats.
Now, I'm going to tell you what exactly I remember because I'm a child of the 90s. But there was this cat that would pull out a revolver and then shoot it. And then the three heroes would basically get shot out of a giant gun. That's what I remember. I also remember every time they'd start the fight about how the swords weren't available in shops. Almost everything said in this show went completely over my head. Then again, I was a little kid, so what do you expect?
I think this is out of I think this is out of my generation too. I probably was more of a 2000s kid because I was born in 98.
This was like 91.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's why I said, that's why I said that. I wish I had that face when I was born a few years too late for this. Oh well, but then again, it's great though.
If I would stress that if you like the whole fourth wall and third wall breaking sort of thing, like with Deadpool, you'll definitely like this if you like anime as well.
Right, because now they've
game.
Yeah, and now they're bringing this classic show back into the form of a video game. And let us, if you're so keen, we shall watch the trailer together. All right, let's switch this out a bit.
Welcome back to Little Tokyo, where some big news has just reached the big cheese.
A video game, 30 years later, and these old-fashioned furballs are getting a new video game. These darn pizza cats are always stealing my spotlight. I haven't felt this angry since our cartoon show stopped airing on TV.
Calm down, Zemo. If the Pizza Cats are getting a new game, that means we will be cast as the main villains, right? Our voice actors are even recording the scene that we're doing right now.
But I'm supposed to be the lead. I'm probably not even going to be a playable character.
Calm down, Cheese. I have a plan. We could bribe the animators to draw a super powerful robot for us. And then we can get rid of those pesky Pizza Cats once and for all.
Drive the animators, what a brilliant idea. And with those annoying pizza cats out of the way, I'll become the new emperor of Little Tokyo once and for all.
Oh no! Isn't there anyone who can stop this cast-off supervillain?
So, the big cheese is up to his old tricks again, huh? Well, we've got 9 lives, plus continues.
And when the game gets tough, you know who to call.
We are the Samurai Pizza Cats!
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, the Samurai Pizza Cats are back with a brand new video game. The Big Cheese has an evil scheme up his sleeve, and it's up to you, the player, to stop him from taking over Little Tokyo. Switch between your favorite cats, Speedy, Guido, and Polyester, and get ready for some nostalgic pepperoni action. So put on your best pajamas, because we're going to party like it's 1991 with the return of the Samurai Pizza Cats.
I seriously have to wonder how many people in the woke genre are going to call this racist.
Oh,
my
God.
god.
Yeah, I can already see it.
Yeah, I could already see the fucking cringe on what they're.
People foaming at the mouth over a fucking game.
I could already
Yeah.
see the.
I've seen a lot of the reactions when it comes to the whole, traditional Chinese restaurant thing that you'd find like down the road. Pretty sure they're gonna bust a nut over this.
Oh
Yeah.
They'll probably also start busting a nut over the fact that the Samurai Pizza cats aren't black now.
I mean, look, they said they not only did they bring the original cast of characters, but apparently they've also brought the original cast of voices in both the English and Japanese versions.
Thank God. At least
So,
they're doing.
like, it's crazy. Like, if you were of that generation that you remembered the show way back in 1991, and this is how they sound like in 2025, it's crazy.
No, it's perfect.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, it's really nice to see they're somehow able to make a full-on comeback with this. And the other thing I'm curious about is whether or not they're going to be able to re-release all the episodes uncensored.
Right. And in upscaled in HD, among other things.
Just hopefully they don't botch like they did with Dragon Ball Z, because God, that was awful. It was the I swear, some of those Dragon Ball Z upscales were just completely horrific. My eyes wanted to bleed. But I do remember, I think it was like 10 years ago, I downloaded a couple of these episodes and watched it. I just went, whoa, I definitely don't remember this. I mean, I remember like small segments here and there, but not the actual storyline or anything.
Yeah.
But it's It's a 90s Japanese anime. What do you expect there to be?
Exactly. It's just... And I think if you know the 90s, everything was pretty much so zany and over the top with that kind of level of humor. Like, I mean, you just saw the trailer, right? There was just so, at that point, the fourth wall would just cease to exist by how much it's been destroyed right now.
I have to admit, it is nice to see something like this getting a bit of a revival. I just hope they don't go too over the top with it.
I mean, look, as long as the writing still has its like, come on, you got people who remember the show fondly, and they're really looking for for the stuff that actually made it great, like the way it was, the crazy '90s humor among all of that, and the aesthetic. If it's got all of that in spades, then yeah, I'd say this one could actually be a good hit. Because I mean, let's be real. Like when they had the no, but what did you think? Like when they had the when they remade some old cartoons, like for the modern day, like Animaniacs, how did that turn out to be?
Animaniacs was probably more on the acceptable level of the demented stuff I've seen, but at least they didn't go like She-Ra or what was that other one? The American one, He-Man. Wow, that was bad.
Right, and this was when they remade it in the 2020s with the original cast and all that, the original voice cast.
And Scooby-Doo, that was horrific.
Don't even bring up that Velma show. Oh my god.
Ah, you did it!
Why,
Major talk.
baby? Why, baby? Why?
I don't know. I just had to because it's another cringe reboot.
Reboot that could have had potential, but they said, "No, let's just throw woke bullshit at it and see what happens."
Yeah, that's.
It's a real shame that we have to sit back and lament on previous, attempts, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually debating about whether or not I should fire up Steam and try downloading this if I can get it to work on Linux.
Oh man, honestly, I think you at some point, if you're going to be playing games on your computer, you definitely have to have Steam or other games like GOG.com. Still, I mean, shit. The other thing is, like, you just cannot forget talking about the furry aesthetic of the '90s. I mean, shit.
I have to wonder whether or not another cartoon from the 90s is going to make a comeback, although this might have been the late 90s.
Oh, what exactly do you have in mind?
What was that one called again? The cats that they had a jet, and they'd like their own little jet. SWAT cats.
Yeah, that's exactly what our guy Boombox was saying. He was just saying SWAT cats was his thing.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's what. Yeah, I mean, I was watching a rerun of SWAT Cats, and man, it was definitely a banger.
And then you got biker mice from Mars.
So, right.
Although I should probably look at Butt Ugly Martians again, but that thing was a shit show. Oh, there's that shark one. Yeah, no, there's like one where they Street Sharks. I remember those ads from when I was a kid. There's like these Street Sharks figurines and this bloody cartoon they had for it. And you thought Transformers was like the only one. Boy, are you wrong.
I think I remember watching that show as a kid. Of course, not when it first came out and all that, but
Botsmaster was another one. I swear, when I found out about the Zoolander movie, I thought, oh, wait, are they making a Botsmaster? No, it's not Botsmasters.
Well, yeah, you were born a few years after that, right?
Yeah.
98, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Oh man, I don't know about you, but seriously, Noble, I think we can both agree that '90s kids like us really did have it the best.
Oh yeah, we didn't have the bloody internet dragging us all over the place.
Oh,
causing
yeah.
us to die inside or just completely go off the.
Oh yeah, I still remember like the early days of the internet where I could just only get like 4 hours at a time. The days of dial-up. But really though, the us '90s kids had it the best when it comes to cartoons, morning cartoons, and all of that.
We had the best of technology just before it started going downhill. Don't sit too close to the television, otherwise you get square eyes. Now it's rectangle eyes.
Yeah, and I still remember like when I was a kid, like the early onset of eyesight problems started to emerge for me. You know, because of overuse of the TV back in the '90s. But still, man, us '90s kids, like we would just go over there in the school playground with all our friends at school. We just talk about the animes and the cartoons and what just happened in the episode we just watched. It's
Yeah, but back then it wasn't anime; it was all cartoons. You couldn't. There was no segregation between what animation was. It was all just morning cartoons or afternoon cartoons. And it was like
right. Like, I mean,
Banana
yeah,
Man.
sure. Like they didn't, you know, they didn't brand it as such because the kid wouldn't probably know the difference. But still.
I have to wonder if Captain Pugwash is going to make a comeback.
Oh, from Samurai Pizza Cats.
No, this is a different show. This is a British show. This is a British show with so many damn giggle moments you'll laugh your ass off.
All right.
Just with the names.
Honestly, it's pretty crazy now that they're basically targeting '90s cartoons for revival.
It's not a surprise.
Yeah.
You probably had some rights holder thinking, we kind of got to make a little bit of money. What can we do? It's like, oh, everyone's still alive and Kiki. Let's get everyone together and actually make something.
Yeah, and honestly, I think, taking a video game instead of making a new, cartoon again is probably not a bad approach.
A fully animated trailer in that sense with a little bit of gameplay is perfect. The trailer they've made for it is perfect. I couldn't ask for anything more. The fact that they released it fully in English, they were able to get the original voice actors, because that's sort of triggering some memories for me every now and then. But still, it's how it should be. Now, if they wanted to do a whole sort of new revamp of it, they'd probably want to have their second or third generation sort of taking over, and the characters from the old show, appear as the elderly couple or whatever to help out the new guys every now and then. But that's just what I'm saying.
Nah, I just love it because they still preserve the whole '90s traditional style of animation.
Despite how bad it would look, especially if you had some of the more aggressive wokes going out and deciding to take a problem with it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I'd prefer '90s style of animation over this new stop motion type animation that just absolutely looks bad. Just look at the newest Ninja Turtles movie. Oh my god, the animation in it is just horrid. It was literally
right, but this is just traditional animation, except it's basically natively upscaled, so it supports full HD from the get go.
Yeah, I'd rather see that than the newest animation that is nowadays.
Yeah, me too. I'm just, dude. I just feel nostalgic already. I long for the old, nine-hand traditional animations of the '90s.
I will say this: Sailor Moon was redubbed, and I've seen clips from that, and it is awful.
Oh my god!
What they do to
they changed the voices. They changed the way a lot of people spoke. They changed the way some of the terms we used as well. I understand that a lot of people, yes, Zoisite was a flat-chested woman, and that they didn't want to have like a gay relationship. But seriously, Zoisite was one of the best villains in the show that I came across that I absolutely loved.
Yeah. Kind of like some of the Naruto movies. Kind of like some of the Naruto movies. How Naruto, like, well, not movies, but the Naruto show on the English dub, because man, it was fucking awful. When I was watching,
When Naruto first came out, I was watching the subbed version, and then I downloaded the pilot, fully dubbed, the English version. I watched it, and I just stopped. After the episode finished, I stopped downloading it. I stopped watching it. I stopped caring about the show because it was just awful. And that's what killed it for me for that show, was the fact of the pilot episode of the dubbed version. Just no.
yeah,
I mean, yeah, I remember seeing Naruto on morning TV, like in the late age of my the high school years. And gosh, yeah, and like I was just like you. I basically stumbled upon me and my brother stumbled upon it in Japanese subtitles and all that. Got hooked on it, and then my brother wasn't really around to see the high school thing because he went to a different school. But ye gads, yeah, I can't do the English version of Naruto.
yeah, like it's supposed to be Japanese, like it's.
It doesn't. The thing is, it doesn't translate well, and my goodness, I don't know. I just don't know how to, the voice actors could even manage to pull it off. Not that it's a compliment, but still.
Yeah, I am. I mean, it's like the Japanese version is a lot better than the English like dubbed.
No, because of course it's written, designed, and all in Japan by Japanese people with to Japanese culture and mythos and everything, and it just doesn't seem to translate over very well when you try to do all of that in other languages. It doesn't.
Yeah.
So yeah, there is that. Fortunately, but other stuff, But with other stuff, like a lot of the other Japanese cartoon, animes seem to have translated pretty damn decently into English, and all of that. Dragon Ball,
Dragon
One
Ball.
Piece translated pretty well. Pokemon translated pretty well. I like to think that this one that we got, Samurai Pizza Cats, would have translated pretty well. Otherwise, we wouldn't be getting this.
I think it came out at sort of like the sweet spot before anime really took off in the West, at least publicly, versus how it is now, where you've got Crunchyroll, unfortunately.
Right. But then again, yeah. Well, what do you think though? Like, speaking of our favorite animes of the modern era, you think Beastars translated pretty well into English? If you watched it,
I've seen clips here and there, but never really got into it.
I mean, I've seen a few episodes, and they're all in Japanese with the English subtitles. But other than that, it's meh. It's all right. I mean, it's not.
Yeah, I completely get you. It's not super duper bad, but I mean, yes, I've watched the Netflix thinger and I have the manga translated into English. That was okay, but yeah. And that reminds me, I might have to pick up the rest of the volumes just because I want to finish Beastars. Still, either way,
I've watched a good portion of Beastars, and it's a little heavy for me to watch at some points.
Right. I see what you mean. Either way.
Sorry.
So either way, though, we've got one last item that we're going to go through in this cycle, and that is Hitstone of the week. So, Google has taken it upon itself to remove months from its Google Calendar, such as Pride Month. So Google has removed Pride Month, along with Black History Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day from Google Calendar. In an email from Google shared with Newsweek, the company calls its previous calendar process unsustainable. Google Calendar will now show only public holidays and national observances.
Which is what it should.
Exactly.
Right, because we are basically seeing the months and days that matter, from the national interest. The real ones that matter, Easter,
Yeah.
Thanksgiving, Black Friday.
Christmas.
Halloween.
Exact. Yes.
I've
And
never understood.
yeah, and and all of that stuff. July the 4th, Independence Day, national
I can
holiday.
I can honestly see how the Holocaust Remembrance Day is going to rub a lot of people the wrong way.
That's why I
Oh
said,
my God.
when you were having this quick conversation, don't think about it too much. Just take it for what it is, because that it's not as simple as a topic that everybody likes to make it believe. But the people who really know, really know.
Now, there is a little thing here that's bit more curious for me. I believe it's the third paragraph. Since this order, multiple high-profile companies, including Meta, McDonald's, Walmart, Target, Google, have stepped back from their DEI goals. Critics have expressed fears about LGBTQIM plus community rights under the new administration, and in particular concerns about the US Supreme Court's potentially overturning its landmark ruling that established a right to gay marriage. Right. See, I would alter the current marriage laws to state that, well, as long as you're a person, you can marry another person, no matter regardless of their gender. That's about it.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know the U.S. law regarding marriage. Does it say anything that the person you're marrying has to be the opposite sex?
No, it does not.
No, it's no, it's
I mean, it can depend on where you go if it's recognized, but on a national level, it is like they don't really
yeah,
as long as like you're of age and everything.
yeah, and if like religious kind of exemption to
Yeah,
like
religious
along with
Yeah,
exemption,
you're
which is
not going to go to
fine.
a
Which is fine because like
who?
freedom of speech and everything. Like
yeah.
I'm not
What?
gonna judge people that say it's against their religion to marry two people. I'll be like, okay, that's cool. You're right.
Okay,
To marry two people of the same sex.
here's my rant on this. In Australia, there was this law that they wanted to introduce that people were chucking a fit over. Basically, it would state that a religious organization, non-for-profit thing, could turn around and say, look, it's against our religion that you're gay, and unfortunately we're uncomfortable with providing you support. The law that was being introduced would allow them to state that. People were reacting as if it would give the same people the ability to grab a cricket bat and start beating that gay couple over the head. And it's like, no, it just states, look, this is our religion, this is our beliefs. You can go to these places if you want support, but we're not going to do that for you. Majority of organizations wouldn't do that because then they'd lose funding anyway. So, yeah. And there's also don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah, it's like you can't force a church. You shouldn't force a church to marry two people of the same sex. So like
if the church is open to that, then yes, but you wouldn't go into a conservative church with a gay couple wouldn't go into a conservative church asked to be married, knowing full well they're going to get the stink eye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At that point, if you do that, you're just looking for trouble and to start something.
Right.
You're either a troll or you're stupid.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
So now, what to know about this whole thing? The update was confirmed by Google spokesperson to The Verge. Before change, the spokesperson said that the calendar team had manually been adding what they described as "quote unquote" a broader set of cultural moments in a wide number of countries around the world. Spokesperson said that maintaining this consistently on a global scale wasn't sustainable. So let's stop there. So who around the world in countries outside of the United States would give a shit about Black History Month, about Pride Month?
I mean, if
Yeah.
you're in Africa, you'd be sitting there thinking, okay, so all the people that my ancestors turned around, brutally murdered, raped, and kidnapped, and then sold into slavery, we're now celebrating a day for that? Seriously? I fucking love that shit.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, they're the descendants of our neighbors that we turned around and made a few bob after. Over. Oh, that's how they're doing. Okay, that's good.
Oh yeah. This is who they're idolizing. Okay, this is the patron saint. Looks like the highest among them is the choked person, George Floyd. That's who we remember.
Oh, I love George Floyd's relatives. It's like all lives matter on the UK television.
Oh,
That's just gold for me.
right.
So, what other dirty things were pulled out of? Oh, here we go. So, Jewish Heritage Month, Holocaust, Hispanic, Indigenous Peoples Month. Somehow these are all mouthfuls and tongue twisters.
They are inherently, yes. Yeah.
Pride Month just makes me want to puke rainbows, but
Yeah,
not in a good way.
Indigenous Peoples Month. Like, who really would remember? Would the Indigenous peoples really remember that? Would for example, our Aborigines noble? Would they? Probably not.
I'm pretty
right?
sure this is referring to only the Americans, not
Native
Australians.
Native Americans. Apache people and all of that.
It makes me wonder how empty someone would feel when they fully realize that thinking they were celebrating themselves when no, you're actually celebrating another group entirely that don't care. Don't care. Oh man!
Exactly. Hispanic Heritage Month is going to be funny because they're going to celebrate the famous pronoun called Latinx.
Now, I have to wonder whether or not people would have issues with those from Spain that are going to get really riled up about this.
Oh, dude, you know what the best part is? I am going to finally ask my we just got a new guy at work who is of Hispanic heritage, and I'm actually have like a curiosity, I think, to ask what he would think about all this. Now that's going to be super interesting.
I seriously wonder what the hell is wrong with treating everyone individually instead of as a bloody group. I mean, if you want to take someone and go, oh, hey, you're Chinese. Oh, hey, whatever Muslim country, that's fucking dull. I mean, Jesus Christ. Sorry.
Now with Black History Month, like Morgan Freeman said, like, why should I dedicate my month? Why should I dedicate my color to a month? And then the reporter asked him, like, so how do we get rid of racism? Stop talking about it. It's like I agree with Morgan Freeman 100% on that.
Sorry, what was that other physicist? He's got a bit more weight to him.
Yeah.
He's got his own TV show or something, like the Star, whatever. God, I can't remember his name. There.
Probably not Bill
Yeah,
Nye.
he I think like his first sort of experience with being on the news, it wasn't, oh, is this about, how does the black community feel about this? It's like, well, okay, you're a physicist, what does this mean? And he was being treated like a, you're a professional, you know what you're talking about in this subject, please explain it from a physicist's point of view in a way where normal people can understand, and not, oh, can you give us the blackety black black black.
Right. Oh my
So why are
god.
you focusing on that?
Right?
Right. So we are going to look at the reactions to how they saw the removal of Pride Month from the Google
Oh my
calendars.
god.
Let's have a look.
I-
Kathy Renner, Director of Communications of the National LGB Task Force Action Fund, told Newsweek, Google removing Pride, Black History Month, Indigenous People Month, Holocaust Remembrance Day, and more is another egregious example of companies caving to the bias and exclusionary attacks of the Trump administration. One of this country's greatest strengths is its diversity, and the rise of Christian nationalism, white supremacy, and political leaders strong-arming this kind of exclusion should alarm all of us.
Yeah, but here's a question: if you're a minority group that thinks killing people is acceptable, like the whole what was it, the trans cult that's in the news at the moment? Maybe you've got to, look at what you're doing. I mean, Christian nationalism? Are you serious? Oh.
They're just being hypocrites at this point. That's literally what they're doing.
Oh no, they've gone far beyond that. They've gone far beyond that.
As a tranny myself, I don't understand any of this shit. I really don't.
Yeah, because you probably don't give two shits about it.
I really
like,
don't. I just want to live my life. I don't need to be put on a fucking pedestal with a spotlight on it. I mean, like, ooh, validate me, please. Like, no, I don't understand it at all.
Exactly. Like you're one of the common sense ones. Like, that's the reason why I like you.
In real life, I met one trans person. The last one I met turns around, they were going off about killing people when they were no longer. I just can't with this anymore. Seriously. What's this? Embarrassing. Another comment on the forum. Embarrassing. Another example of fast descent into fascism. There's no reason users should have to add these dates themselves. You could have maintained the same list as always.
Right. Like, but is it seriously such a small inconvenience to just manually add in Black History Month just because you really want to celebrate it?
I wonder why it's now that it's becoming unsustainable, and yet the time to Gulf of America map through, though, despite the only applying to the US. See, look, here's something I don't understand. I've got an iPhone, which I kind of regret now. There are calendar options in here. So I can choose to add work, home. I can put in Australian holidays. I can put in like stuff from overseas. I've got options to include those things. Why doesn't Google Calendar instead turn around and say, well, okay, let's divide it up into different groups, and let's just have, for instance, public holidays. So someone who's an employee somewhere who knows that if they go work on X day, work's not going to be open, so it's going to be shut up shop. Or they get paid more, or they have to work at different hours because it's a public holiday. And then you've got these historical events that have continued going on for generations, or even a few. Have them as a separate option to be able to show. And then you could have a third one for all this modern nonsensical dribble that no one really cares about, but they seem to act like they do. I'm sounding like a fucking idiot.
No, you're okay.
No.
But no, seriously, why not have that as options to show those? That way people get the choice to, if they want to see that.
Yeah, like they can opt in or opt out.
Exactly. Like, It's not that hard. Plain and simple.
It's just a minor inconvenience. That's all. First world problems, I swear.
Exactly.
My phone's not getting reception. I can't turn around and harass people online because I feel insecure.
Oh,
Literally,
that's literally how they act like.
Oh my god.
It's insane. They act like spoiled little brats who haven't been spanked by their parents. Yeah, those are the types of people. Those are the types of people who never got any much attention when they were kids.
And now they're seeking it in very unhealthy ways.
Yeah.
But I do enjoy a bit of salt in this time of day. Goes really, really well.
Just take the top off and pour all the salt.
I do also so love how they reacted so crazy. Like it's perfect. Now I can remember all the months that matter to me, and all the days that matter to me. Like March, which is my birthday.
Nice.
Yeah. Now, really, though, that aside, I believe that's all the time we have for the week. So, how did you guys like? Let's make a quick closing statement with just what's happened in the week that passed. So, who'd like to start with a quick closing statement?
I think I need to get a chisel so I can tap out a gravestone for the Xbox.
Probably gonna need a lot more of that and some really, really, really good carving tools to start with.
Oh no, that mallet's all I need. I just need a decent chisel.
Fair enough.
But with that, I mean, it's nice to see a cartoon that I barely remember coming back a little bit. And it's gonna. I can't wait to see what this year and next year bring. Hopefully, it's gonna get more entertaining.
100%. I mean, sure, it's been a bit of a rocky start, but I'm still just all things considered, not things ain't so bad, and things are gonna turn in great next year. Well, this year, next year. So let's continue. So, Azzy, Cam, what have you got to wrap up this week with?
Well, now the console is I mean, but like I said before, like we've all remember like consoles without any internet. Like we could just play the game like no internet. And then ever since the internet like requires for consoles like PS3s and PS4, PS5 and Xbox 360 and etc., you know, and it's
a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, it's a lot to process with that one, but with now the second topic, which was the video, video game of the reboot that's coming out in like this year, right? This year or next year?
Yeah, 2026. They just announced it a couple days back.
Oh, that's next year, yeah. And yeah, It's interesting to me because even though I wasn't born in '97 or in '91, I was born in like 2001. I mean, Cam's 98, 98 baby, but like, but so he's a little like older than me, but yeah, uh, I think it would be interesting, to play like at some point. Now, especially the Pride Month being removed from the Google, I I agree with it. I agree with it because
So do I.
yeah, because it's definitely not
That stuff
because
doesn't need to be plastered everywhere and shoved in people's faces. It's gotten too much.
yeah, exactly. Like it's like if that was the price, where is straight month? Where is where's white month? Where's American History Month? It's like
I don't know. I've had a falling out with the whole Pride Month thing since like back in 2019 when I went to my first one. So I wanted to see what it's like, and there were literally teenagers walking around with no shirts on and pasties over their chest, so they could technically get away with not wearing a shirt. And I was just like, yeah, I'm going. This is not okay. I'm leaving.
it's just been going way too far at this point. So yeah, you know what? But yeah, you know what? Take that shit out, and just, you know, it's like who cares of what you do in your bedroom? Like as long as you keep it in a bedroom, then it's no problem. But yeah, that's my take. Cam, what's your take?
I said mine. It was like the whole Pride Month thing.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
All right. I guess that just about wraps it up for the week then. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this as much as we did making the show for you and going through craziness of this world. As always, you can find our episodes on Podbean, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, TuneIn, Player.fm, iHeartRadio, BitChute, and more further down the line. Well, that's all we've got for the week. This is us signing off. Farewell, and until next time.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Deuces.